I think everybody in the whole VI want to know who call customs.
No, you getting all the insights. Vino posted a headline said Juve shots fired. I went at them and started to expose what they were doing to us. I'm not one to explain myself, especially not to the internet. Then I just hear, I turn around to do something, I hear, BAM! And I was so scared, and I looked down. This girl say, Jougo, we are right. Run the effing rhythm.
It hasn't been a easy road. Probably one of the most famous downs would probably be when Showtime band broke up.
You hear me say, last night was my last night for sure. If it wasn't for the fans, I would never endure. But I say thank you because I'm grateful. Thanks for having my back, and this is how I pay you back. I'm gonna make you bounce. That was me saying, you know what I mean? Like,
oh my God.
You're too inquisitive.
You're so nosy. Stop minding my business.
Today's guest is an international recording artist and automatic hit maker of VI icon, multiple-time road match winner, so many that I kind of lost count when I was checking up, and a living legend, the one and only Jougo. Welcome to the show, Jougo.
Good morning. What are you saying? Bunchie? Thanks for having me on your show, you know what I mean? You know, we're going to make it one of the best shows in the world right now. We're about to make history. What are you saying?
That's exactly what I hear, man. I'm so excited for this episode. To be honest, when I came up with the idea for the show, I told myself I need Jougo to be the first guest. I need to launch this thing with a bang. And first, I just want to start by giving you flowers, man, because you have been an inspiration. Everything that you accomplished thus far, like, I really mean it when I say you are a living legend, dude. And this is one of my dream podcast episodes, that you are one of my dream guests. You know that question when people ask, like, if you could interview anybody living or dead, who would you interview? Like that, for like the last few years, Jougo has been my answer. So this means a lot to me, man.
I really appreciate it. And once again, thanks for having me. You know what I mean? Thus far, everything been very good. I'm so proud of you to see with your new podcast and everything else that you've been doing. You know, I've been watching as well. So, you know, keep doing what you're doing and, you know, keep making the Virgin Islands proud as well.
Thank you, man. So the first thing I got to ask you is the vibe quote of the day. Who did post that? That's you or that's somebody else?
You're selling me out, man. You're selling me out. You're selling me out, Bunchie. To be honest, the person does sound like me, though, to be honest, right?
They do, yeah. Like sometimes I'll be like, it can't be Jougo postings every day, but it sound like you.
We have a very good team. I'll put that out there. We have a very good team that's been working for years, and you know they're doing a very good job. So big up the whole team.
That's cool, man. That's cool. So speaking of like making the Virgin Islands proud, one of the things I want to talk about is just recently you traveled to Barbados for Carifesta, and you performed. And not only did you perform, but you were also given an award. Can you talk a little bit about the award and also the experience of performing in Barbados? A lot of people don't know, but like I'm actually half Bajan. My mother from Barbados. She grew up like majority of her life in Barbados. I spend most of my time. Like, I probably spent half of my time growing up also in Barbados, like Christmas, Easter, everything, summer, everything. Like, I spent my first Christmas in the BVI when I was pretty much 15 years old. So, like, I spent, like, a lot of time in Barbados. So, Barbados, I consider it my second home. I have a Barbados passport. I don't even have a BVI passport.
You have a BVI passport. You have a Barbados passport as well?
I don't have a BVI passport. I have a Barbados passport, and I have a Canada passport.
Oh, okay. All right. On my Barbados experience, man, that was an awesome experience. It was myself along with a lot of other representatives from the BVI were down there representing our culture, introducing it to their culture on a grand stage, and everybody did a really good job. And to my surprise, I received a icon award down there that I'm very grateful about. I'm grateful for, and it's for you know, for all the things that I did coming up to this point as a musician. I was being recognized for it. And, you know, as I said, very grateful, and gratitude was a must. And, you know, I must say on your podcast too, shout out everybody that helped me from the beginning to this point. You know, I want to give them a special big up for putting in the work and believing in me.
So what was it like performing in Barbados? Like, I don't know what the crowd was like. Was it like a lot of local Bajans? Was it mixed with like, I would assume you have people from all over the Caribbean there for Carifesta?
Yeah. It
And
was
how were you received?
it was Carifesta, so it was people from all over the Caribbean. There was a lot of different cultures there, and it was one big melting pot, and I was received very, very well, and you were given a good enough time, a short time to make your presence felt and show your culture and what you do and merge it real quick, for other cultures to understand and to appreciate. And we did just that. Got on stage, boom, got some reactions. Everybody enjoyed itself, came off a stage, everybody came and met me, did one or two interviews. And, people said they want to keep in contact because they love the style, they love the music, they love our culture, and they love what we brought to the Carifesta. So it was a very great experience, and not only for me, for the BVI as well. And as I said, there were a lot of other people there. There were artists, painting artists, there were dancers, there were other singers, there were cultural dancers as well. There were musicians, poets, painters, man, you name it. We had a great delegation down there. And as I said, we all did a good job and was well received. And people were very interested in what's going on in the BVI and where is the BVI and how can we be a part of this BVI culture because they loved it so much.
That's cool, man. So you're well traveled. You've performed probably all over the world at this point. Where would you say is your favorite place to perform other than the Virgin Islands? And also, do you ever, like, when you go into a new place to perform for the first time, do you ever feel like a sense of like nervousness or anything?
Definitely sometimes depends. I haven't been nervous in a very long time. But I'll tell you the last time I was nervous though. My favorite place to perform, I don't know, the stage is like anywhere. You can put me on a stage anywhere. It's just a different feeling. I feel like I transform to a different person when I enter the stage. It could be from a small stage to a big stage, But I particularly like to perform in places where people don't know about us or know about me and know about my culture. Because that's a true definition. That's a true way to see if what you're doing on stage is effective. Because now you have to gain their attention, and then you have to deliver and make them, get them to move with you in a certain amount of time. So I honestly love the challenge of being on a stage in that form. Well, favorite place, I can't tell you my favorite place, man. But it just delights it's just a big delight for me when you get on stage and people actually start to sing a song that you just had as a simple idea, you scribbled it in your mind and you made it into a song, and then people actually singing the lyrics word for word, and you're able to see that, that means the world to me.
That's cool. So you tell me the last time you said you were nervous.
Oh, the last time I was nervous, I ain't gonna even like big scoop. The last time I was nervous, that was actually last week, to be honest. It had a private party in St. Thomas, and we just lost Sasso. And for some reason, I don't know, when I step on the stage and it hit me like, okay, Sasso ain't here no more.
Yeah.
That kind of way. I don't know, like it was, I literally, I don't know if I was nervous, I don't know why it was, but I had to shake it off, like literally on the stage, people in front of me, people moving, and I'm talking to myself. I say, all right, you shake it off, let's go. You understand what I mean? So that was a little different for me at that point, and I didn't realize it until after the fact. And I spoke to the person that I came with and explained it to them, and they say, yeah, they totally understand. So that was a little different for me.
Yeah, I understand. Especially, I mean, Sasso was probably arguably my favorite VI artist. Since like I was in like high school coming up. Like Poison was my band. That was like the first CD I ever buy was a Poison CD. And I think that the next CD I probably buy was either a Vibe or a Showtime CD. I don't remember. Fortunately, before Sasso departed, you all were able to bless us with an amazing collab in UFO. How did that song come about?
We actually did 2 songs together, to be honest. We did UFO and we did one named Waste Time. But that was back before, and we did some collabs, in between. But how did UFO come about? I mean, the rhythm itself, playing it live, was very popular. And I had a conversation with Pompa Sasso and myself, and then we were saying we want to get the best out of it, but we want to let the world see that Virgin Islands people could unite and create music. Because unfortunately, in the past, we haven't been collaborating a lot amongst ourselves. So we wanted to lead by example, and we did just that, and everything worked seamlessly. Sasso sent his voice to me, Pumpa sent his voice, I put it together, and we came up with a sound that you hear today called UFO Bunks.
I actually love that. That's probably my favorite rhythm out right now. Brent make that rhythm, right?
Yeah.
I love that rhythm. That rhythm
Yep.
is crazy. So also speaking, like, while we on legends that have unfortunately passed. Yeah. I want to touch on Kylo, another legend, because you did a collab with him also, Flashlights, which at this point has become like the VI anthem for saying goodbye in a sense, or showing homage to people that have passed. So when you wrote that song and you did that song with Kylo, I could imagine that you never probably thought that you'd have to be singing it for him as well.
Nah, definitely not.
But that song became so huge when it first came out. Can you just tell me a little bit about the song and how it all went down?
All these things are happening like magic. I ain't gonna even lie. I'll tell you exactly what happened with Flashlights. With Flashlights, we were in Orlando at a party. Sound checking for an event, and the music was done by Swanks. So Swanks was playing. He was sound checking before me, and I was there waiting for my turn to sound check. I was there with some friends, and the rhythm came on, and I don't know, the rhythm just catch my attention. So I walked right over to him. He was sound checking with it, and I said, "Yo, Swanks, what's that?" And he was like, this is something he did a few days ago, ain't nothing major. I said, all right, cool. I say, because he was backing me up as well on that night. I said, okay, when I come on tonight, can you play that as the intro for me, please? But can you play that at some point? He said, yeah, no problem at all. And he played it, and I mumbled Flashlight that night. Mumble us off the top. You kind of just mumble it. And then after the fact, after the event, I asked him to send it to me. He said me, yeah, he sent it to me. We could work on it. He sent it to me, and I wrote my lyrics. I sent it back to them. And they did their lyrics, and and today it's history. One of the biggest songs in the Virgin Islands right now. Again,
that's a crazy story, man. How that happened?
Yeah, it was like most of these stuff to be like destiny. I ain't even like. They just happen. They just write themselves. And at that particular point too, there was a spirit of violence in St. Thomas around that time.
Yeah.
That kind of influenced it. Influenced the song. Influenced my writing. So more songs that I do are actual stories. If you go back and listen to certain songs, there were stories about at that particular time. So but where we have Flashlights, that's how Flashlights came about, and the rest is history. Kylo came on, killed it, Swanks did his part, we did it together. You send it back, we mixed it, master it, boom, and it became history, and now it's an anthem. Rest in peace, Kylo, and all the family. And the condolences to all the family.
Yeah, condolences to everybody. It's sad that when we lose those types of legends, man, it's kind of crazy, because it's like when you kind of finally like come down from the shock and you embrace reality, it's like, wow, I can never see this person hit a stage again. I can never get no new music again, and that's kind of what to bring me down a little bit.
Yeah.
But to move on a little bit, try to bring things to a little lighter side, I want to touch on the storytelling aspect, because a lot of your songs, to me, at least some of my favorite songs from you, have that storytelling aspect to it. We have songs like Demolition, we have Shots Fired, we have, even Run the Route kind of is like telling our story. Yeah. So
Run the Road, and even Pushing Bush. You got to listen close. Yeah.
Shake the Bottle.
Shake the Bottle. I can elaborate on some of the songs if you like.
Yes, please.
Tell me which one, and then I'll do one for me and one for you.
I want to do Shots Fired, because I think that's my favorite one. I just like the penmanship of it, how catchy it is.
Shots Fired, true story again. So the Juve before, we had a clash, the Juve's logo. We had a clash that year. And, when you're clashing, you're going back and forth, talking, you know what I mean? You're talking, you're playing music, but you're still back and forth, throwing friendly shots at the next person. But Vino posted a headline that said Juve. I don't quote me, but it said Juve Shots Fired, right? But the caption caught everybody's attention. But he was talking, I think he said something I said to the other opposing band. Like he used, but it was a great caption. And that thing just went crazy. And I was like, oh, wow. So that's crazy. I said that, but I said, that's genius. So the following year, I wrote Shots Fired. I wrote a song called Shots Fired. Not only to grasp the attention of the people, which it did, but to tell people that what was happening at that particular time. We had DJs telling me, I'm not playing music unless you pay me. You understand what I said? So it basically was like, you know what I mean? I went at them and started to expose what they were doing to us. You know? So I went at it in a lyrical way. And, you know, it came out very well. And then, you know, that particular time, sometimes, you know, and when you're making a story a little bit, you exaggerate a little bit. You understand? Just to put a little humor in it. But for the most part, it was a true story. Tired provoked me, put me to the test. They tell me, write some lyrics. Tell them that you're the best. But this one right here is not for the radio. It was not for the radio. You know why? Because half of them DJs was at a poppy show. In the daytime, I call them bats because they just can't see the facts. Talk so much, I call them rats. They try hold me down, I call a fact. But lions don't worry with sheep. Got them, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's lyrics.
You know, even here that they wish we dead. I don't forgive, but I won't forget. You know what I mean? Got my name all in the streets. You know what I mean? It was, you know what I mean? So it was basically like saying they shouldn't get down. But the get down actually mean dance. You know what I mean? You know, old school.
Yeah, the double entendre.
That was a vibe for that one.
I love songs like that. I have like all that meaning to it. Like to me, for any musician, for me to like really get with your music, you have to show like some sort of ability to be able to write in that kind of clever way where it's like everything can have like a double meaning to it. Like that to me, that's like the mark of like a true musician or artist, I should say.
I'll give you a next one that you didn't know, that you didn't realize. Put you onto this real quick. What song was it? Pushing Bush. I sing the lyrics slow for you, right? I'm guilty of it too. Pushing Bush just like you do. Pushing Bush, me and my crew. Yes, that's what we come to do. I guess I am a pusher. Pushing Showtime to the peak. No surrender, no retreat. And we don't have no time to sleep. This one's unique. I call it special. 45. I'll pass it, right? 45 is where we're from, the 45th district. No violence, but come alive. So I don't want you to think I'm talking about a gun. Hitman tell me keep the drive. That's Sweeney. At the same time, Sweeney went a little I hear a little dilemma going on, but Sweeney tell me, Hitman tell me keep the drive, light it up, fireflies. So now that's light it up, fireflies. At that point, I was talking about if somebody's smoking, you know what I mean? I don't smoke. No, but you know, we were young. Light it up, fireflies in the night, smoking in the dark, got them nervous. Butterflies, but now they can't believe them eyes. Showtime music on the rise. Feel like a general. I feel big. I feel like a general because I got my troops behind me. That time we had Anasazi. You understand? So the beginning part, I started over again. I'm guilty of it too. Pushing bushes like you do. Honestly speaking, we were pushing marijuana.
I had never known that.
We were pushing marijuana. I'm guilty of it too. Pushing bush just like you do. Pushing bush, me and my crew. That's what we come to do. At the end of the day, I had some friends and them I were like, yo, we pushing bush. You understand what I said?
Damn, that's crazy.
You understand? So, but at the end of the day, it went over everybody's head. They only saw the part, but it was easy to write at that point because it was the truth. I'm guilty of it too. Pushing bushes like we do. Pushing bush, me and my crew. That's what we came to do. Yes, I am a pusher. Pushing Showtime to the peak. No surrender, no retreat. And we don't have no time to sleep. This one's unique. I call it special. 45. No violence. But come alive. Hitman tell me keep the drive. Keep going, Jougo. Light it up. Butterflies. I got them nervous. They're nervous because we making it now. Butterflies. But now they can't believe them eyes. Showtime music on the rise. I feel like a general because I got my troops behind me. Everybody jam, let we go put on a show, do it just so. All right, let's go. Hand in the air like so. Because we pushing bush. Pushing the Juve.
When you dropped that song, did you think it was going to be as big as it became? Because I remember, I think it was the Juve when that, like, around the time when that song had come out, that whole stretch there by where the banks them, all the bush had get picked clean. Like it had looked like a hurricane had passed through. Everybody literally had bush behind and in them hand. Did you think it was gonna get that big when you dropped that song?
Nah, it was just the story that had need to be told at that particular time. So when for me basically when making music, I don't really think, oh, this one gonna be big or this one gonna be large or that, you know what I mean? I just go where I feel at that particular time. to be honest. And then I like happen, whatever happens. I just going with the feeling that at that particular time.
So when you see that kind of reaction from the crowd, like you literally saying, hey, we pushing bush, and everybody literally to the point where they're chopping down trees and it's just bush all in the air just because you say so. What kind of emotion, like what is that, how does that make you feel? Like what goes through your mind when you witness that happen?
It's a great feeling. As I say, I love it when people react to the songs, but at the same time, then I realize at that point it's like, all right, you gotta be careful what you say. Because if it's that influential, be careful what you say and how you say it. So sometimes most things that I say, if I even try to get a point across, I would present it in a way that it might be acceptable, but you will get the picture.
Fair enough. That's cool, man. Tell me about Demolition, because from my understanding, that's based on a true story too, right?
Yeah, Demolition was a true story. Once again, we were at Pui's in King Anime. Big up the King Anime massive. We are Pui's and we had a party, enjoying the party, having a good time, and they had a deck. So we had a deck. They had a deck on the, it was on the beach. They had a deck, and we were playing, enjoying ourselves, you know what I mean? Showtime playing, enjoying, party sweet. Then I turn around to do something, I hear bam! Like something like this big noise, boom, and everything just stopped. When I turn around, the whole deck just mash up. The whole deck fell with the people on it. And everybody was like in a hole, down in a hole now. And I'm like, what the heck? And I was so scared. And I looked down. When I looked down, this girl say, I want cuss the word, but I just try to get that across. They're like, Jougo, she said, Jougo, we all right. Run the effing rhythm. Like, what? You understand? So then the same song came now. So then it was a Demolition because we mashed up the place. So then I wrote the song Demolition. And after that same night now, we went after the Demolition, after everybody was okay. One or two people got some small injuries. True story. After that same night, we went King Anime the next night. No, not King Anime. We went to Quito's the next night. It was in the same King Anime area. So it was a real time, you know what I mean? It was a time we were scared, but at the same time, everybody was safe, and everybody, we had a moment, a real dramatic moment and a real dangerous moment, but it was a moment. So, it wrote itself. It said, the lyrics say, what a classic day. I'm talking about King Garden Bay. Place pack, floor crack, fans bouncing non-stop. Yeah, we were having a ball, but then the dance floor fall. I mean, it broke down. Big Demolition. Oh, shucks, I can't watch. I swear that I lose a fan. Hear a woman shout out, rhythm up and position. Everybody's okay. Everybody's all right. On to the next one. Straight Quito's the next night. Yo, I mean,
That's crazy.
yeah, that's the whole storyline right there. So that, once again, a song that wrote itself, and when I said Demolition broke down the place, you know what I'm saying? Everybody know, jump up to the, you know what I mean? The song just wrote itself once again. So as I said, like most of the songs is just the space that you're in. For me, most songs are the space I'm at that point, and that's just my thought and my experience that happened.
Okay, next one. You ain't gotta elaborate on this one too much, but you gotta tell me. I think everybody in the whole VI wanna know who called customs.
No comment. As impactful as that song was, you realize I didn't call a name.
Yeah.
You realize I didn't, it went straight around, all around, but I didn't point to anyone in direct. Once again, just using, to be honest, at that particular year, Brent could tell you Brent was in the studio and we were going through some songs and stuff, and he was like, Leo, what going on with you? You know, so I saying, like, you need to start right away. I say, listen, I got to say something, but I don't know how to say it. You know, so I said, I don't know how to say it. And then he was like, well, yo, time running out, whatever the case may be. I say, it gonna come, don't worry. I say, it gonna come. I just can't sit down, it gonna come. It gonna come. Boom. Few days later, bam, it came. You understand? And then it just came. So I said, well, it's time. He was like, well, why? I say, all right, tomorrow. Yeah, I mean, tomorrow you're gonna hear it. Because I would go in the studio in the night, or, when I'm alone, and then put it on. You understand? And that song just came out just like that, because we were going through that. we were going through that at that particular time. Because at one particular time, we weren't St. Thomas all the time. We were performing. Everybody had travel documents, but you need a special visa to do it.
Yeah.
But we were there. You understand? And it was a vibe time. We were in the time, and then it came to a stop. It came to a big halt. We went to no, you getting all the insights. We went to St. Thomas, and we were going there, and then we had some hiccups, and we were supposed to play in the village 2 days after the hiccups, and the guys unfortunately couldn't play, so I had to play 2 days after. But at that time now is what you're gonna do, because people expecting us to play.
Yeah.
So the people flew in from all over. You understand? People were there. This was a big anticipated night, and I honestly was like, I got cancelled. Oh, I got cancelled. And everybody was like, boy, people down here, whatever the case to be, you gotta move forward. You gotta move forward. I was like, nah, I got cancel. And they were like, nah, you gotta move forward. I came back home, boom. The next day, after I did the show the night, I did the show solo the night. I came back home the next day, sat down, bam, carpenter in the studio. We started to speak, and we were like, well, what are you gonna do? I said, well, boy, I'm gonna try and move forward to carry other people them down. And that was when I performed in St. Thomas Village, just me. I got some other guys to just help, but we put it together and pulled it off. And that worked. But to the song itself, the lyrics in the song, the lyrics, that one there was how I was feeling, run the road and not your mouth. This one is crazy. I've been getting fake love lately. They don't want to see us win. That came after that, all of that. They don't want to see us win. You understand? Over 20-something years, blood, sweat, and tears with hits. I hit every summer over 20-something years. You could ask my peers. I missed the elevator. I had to take the stairs. Like, I came the long way. I take the long road. You know what I mean? Took a little while, but guess what? I'm here. And I didn't tell no lie. That year, guess what happened? Well, vibe was real hot. That's a big topic. But some of them band man, you know what I mean, don't like it. I even here to try to call customs. Yeah, they really want to shut vibe down. They can't stop what's God plans. I got a long sleeve because I got God's son tattooed on my right hand. For real, in real life from college days. God's son tattooed on my right hand. So it's war time now, that's what I'm talking about. Tell them they should run the route and not the mouth. It was our lyrics, wordplay, but once again, true. People be like, you a Godson, but for real, I do have Godson on my right hand tattooed right here. You understand? I mean, this, the left hand, sorry, but on my right hand right here. You understand? Yeah. But at the end of the day, it's like, these things are experiences that happen to me in real life. I just happen to turn them into songs. And, people happen to love them, but, and then remember in the second verse for that one, remember they had a song called OMG had a song, Pascal had a song. I think Pascal and Boss had do it together.
Looking Smoke?
Yeah, You Looking Smoke. You Looking Smoke. You Looking Smoke. Yeah, that was a nice tune too. Yes, I just decided to address it because now is what time. So I said the other one said, who are looking smoke, tell them come. You understand? Put them all on one truck and watch we shut them down. This is not Juve, not a circus. You know what I mean? We don't need no clowns. Watch your purpose. You understand what I mean? It was all humor though. You know what I mean? It wasn't really like disrespectful or whatever the case may be, but it was all humor. I just decided to kill two birds with one stone.
I personally like that. Like I feel like that's what Juve for. You're supposed to clash. You're supposed to. I mean, that's my favorite part about it. The bands going at each other. I don't think it's meant to be taken serious, but it's part of the entertainment.
Yeah, it's entertainment, and people like what they can relate to, and people like what you know what I mean. People like the little rivalry and stuff.
Yeah. So okay. So you can't tell us who called customs, but do you know who called customs? You know?
Nah, I don't know exactly who called customs. To be honest. You understand? But we know a call was made, you know what I mean? And that was a pass. Besides, we already passed that, but at that time stamped that time for me. Just like Demolition time stamped that time for me. So I know he has to come back and remember, hey, this was this year, or this was this year. So it's just that time stamp feelings that you're going through at that particular time. So that's music for me. Just time stamping and things that that I went through at that particular time.
Makes sense. So in VI music, right, it's very common to use samples from other songs. And in my opinion, I believe at this point, Vibe, you and your band Vibe, probably some of the best to execute that. With my favorite sample being the one that you did with Olivia Rodrigo, Deja Vu.
Deja
I
Vu,
remember, I remember the first time I heard that one live. I don't remember where, but I just remember it was probably you probably had it in the intro or something. And when I heard that, I was like, this dude is a genius. And I think that's when I decided in my head, I was like, I need to talk to Jougo. I need to pick this man brain and understand why that. Like when I heard that, to me, I was like, this dude, we not warrior. This dude is up there for real.
With the sample bit, to be honest, choosing the samples, I go through, I listen to a lot of different music, a lot of different types of music. I listen to Olivia, I listen to Phil Collins, I listen to a lot of different type of music on the regular. So sometimes you hear a song and then you could just envision it being a part of, inserting it in what we do. And you always bring samples. Actually, I like the other song a lot better, Driver's License.
But that's my wife's favorite.
Yeah, that's a real big song. And then when I heard Deja Vu, it was like, all right, boy, this might be the one. This might be the one too, And to be honest, that's like till this day, people still want to hear that. You understand? Boom.
I love it.
We sat down to it, Brent again. God, Brent, yo, this is what we're doing. What the case it be? We had the idea. We started dropping down stuff. Bam, 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 bam. The Brent was like, all right, cool. Let's add this. Let's add that. You understand what I mean? That's how it is. We have a real nice team, and the ideas just keep going. But you ever realize that we use them live, but we don't really put them on records?
I love that sample so much. But another one that I really like is the Dolly Parton sample.
Yeah, real old school.
Yeah,
real old school. Yeah,
how that one come about?
It's just as you say, just a love for music and listening. Anybody, Dolly Parton is that she's a legend, and that's a legendary song. You go play that song, and anybody could relate to it, even if they don't know it. It just has a feeling to it, and sometimes some music just has that. I don't know, man. You just go against the grid sometimes, and you use some stuff, and it works.
All right, so I want to talk about festival. Specifically, you had a performance where you had both your daughter, who was dancing, I think she's like leading the Vibe Girls and stuff now, and your son, who was on stage with you performing as well. I think he was doing like handling the rhythm and stuff.
Yeah.
How was that planned, or like how did that night come about? Tell me about what it's like, having your children on stage with you performing.
And I never dreamed that would happen, to be honest. I ain't gonna even lie to you. I never dreamed that would happen, because that's my kids, I mean, those are they're big now, but those are my babies, you know what I mean? And having my daughter being dealing with Vibe Girls and doing their things, she doing all the choreographing along with her team. I'm very grateful to still be around to see they developing and doing what they love, especially with me. And the fact that they still think that their father cool, they think that their father cool, and they would come and help me out, and she saw a need, something that I would need and need to continue, and she took up that role. And with my son, yeah, he's really getting into music and stuff. He's very quiet on that side, but I know he was into it. And, I asked him, I said, hey, what's up, Barry? Over the case, because I wanted a little more freedom on the stage to move around a little more, that night. He really stepped up to the plate. And I was very surprised, and even when I watched the footage, I seen him dancing and stuff. That's my son. you understand what I mean? Like he just transformed to somebody else. And I really love it, and I'm really grateful to be a part of that with the whole Vibe team and my kids. That made me feel really, 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 really good. I really appreciate it. And I don't know, man, words can't explain how I felt and how I feel, just to know that, they have interest in music, or choreographing or whatever. They just have interest in stuff, and I'm just glad that I'm here for it. I'm still here for it.
That's powerful, man. That's a beautiful thing when you can bring your family in and do it together like that. And
Yep.
it's always good to just have that support and stuff as well too.
Definitely, the support is major, and that's one thing with my family. They'll support. They're gonna support each and everything I do, and I'll support each and everything that they do.
That's beautiful, man. So I want to talk about some of the struggles because, like you said, Mr. Elevator had to take the stairs. So like obviously it hasn't been a easy road to make it to where you are now. Probably one of the most famous downs would probably be when Showtime band broke up. Can you tell me a little bit about what happened there, what the transition was like, and
All right, in the Showtime era, I pick up the whole crew from at that particular time. Everybody, you young, everybody tried to find itself. What they like. All of us had something in common. That we like music, but the way that we did music and conduct business would vary sometimes. So just like any group, we had disagreements and stuff. And after a while, I would tell you this. Even I'll give you a next song. Showtime days, we did This One's For You and You. And you special request. Remember that song? All right, if you go back to that song, you're gonna hear me say, "Last night was my last night for sure. If it wasn't for the fans, I would never endure. But I say thank you because I'm grateful. Thanks for having my back. And this is how I pay you back. I'm gonna make you bunks." That was me saying, you know what I mean? Thanks. Like, I know we would have to move on. Last night was my last night for sure. But then again, everybody went over everybody's head. If it wasn't for the fans, I know I wouldn't endure. So I say thank you because I'm grateful. Thanks for having my back. And this is how I'm gonna pay you back. I'll make your bunks. This one's for you and you and you and you and you, my Showtime crew. You understand? That song there was one of the songs when I was feeling, it might be time. But then again, but as I said before, everybody has differences in how they do stuff, how they make music, and sometimes you just separate, and that's a part of growth. So that's what happened with the Showtime era.
I think when that breakup happened and then you went off to form the new band, around that time is kind of where I was just starting to be old enough to kind of really like get into the scene and go to the jam them and stuff like that. And I feel like I was kind of blessed in a sense because I feel like the level of music that was coming out at that time, you were putting out music, Showtime were putting out music, and the peak, like, I feel like, to this day, I still feel like that, it was like 2014, 2015, 2016, that era, especially around for the 60th, that is some of my all-time favorite memories for that festival. To this day, some of my favorite songs came out in that time. You could tell me, like, what was kind of like the mindset at that time with putting out music, especially the clash then with Jougo, you versus your old band?
Yeah, like at that time, as we say, we had done start to move on. But after the Showtime, we did VA Showtime, and then it was like, man, people were getting mixed up and that type of stuff. So we decided we're gonna move on with Vibe. I'll be honest, who it was, we were getting started. I must big up Janelle Hadessa. They pulled me on the side and they were like, yo, you gotta start branding, you gotta start doing this, you gotta start this. And then, they point me up on stuff that we're doing now, but we started then. So, we started over, we had a whole discussion on names and that type of stuff. And then, everything transitioned to Vibe. And then we started to do branding, starting to did different type of performances and that type of stuff. And then, as you say, with the rivals for Juve and stuff, and it was all fun, it was all good, and as usual, we went out, executed, and have a good time.
So, this past year we finally got a collab between you and Boss again. You could tell me how that song come about. What made you guys decide to finally, try a thing in the studio again?
That song there was the name of the song is Picture Us. It came off of, I did a party in Orlando, an event in Orlando last year, and the name of the event was Picturesque. And I actually did the song. The photo guy, the camera guy, sent me a video of the party. It was a real nice party. very successful party. And big up everyone that came out to picture us. Looking for pictures again this year. The guy sent me the video, but we didn't like the he wanted us to use our old song that we had. And I was like, nah, I like the video so much. So believe it or not, we sat down with the video, took out the old song that we had, and then we started to talk about it. It was myself and Brent in the studio. And we started talking. I said, Brent, I want to do something for this song. And he started to play, and I wrote it while we watching the video.
Mm-hmm.
So it was basically, you know what I mean? So the first snippet was picturesque, whatever the case may be. And then, so that's how the song came about itself, the initial song. And then coming over to the later months, I decided to change it and name it Picture Us. You know, Picture Us taking over the whole wall as Virgin Islanders, as Virgin Islands people. Picture us taking over the wall with our flags them. Proud of where we're from. You know what I mean? Making an anthem. Yeah, so then after I did the part, I did the song, and I was like, man, I need a feature, whatever the case may be. So I was like, you know what? Let me hit up boss and see if he would be interested in doing it. So boom, I send the message along with the song, and yeah, he agreed, and he came on and did his part. And then, you know, I arranged it, boom, boom, we put it out, bam, and that's what you hear today. And it is a very, very great song. That's great Virgin Islands representation. That has great Virgin Islands representation on it. Big up Boston time.
That's cool, man. Do you think the fans, can we ever look forward to like a proper like Showtime reunion, like a party where the whole crew back together again, just the one time, like a throwback?
I understand what you mean. I totally don't have nothing against it. I would love to do it, but everything comes with work. Everything comes with a lot of work and great investment, whether it's financially or with time. If the opportunity permits, yeah, we will do it. No problem at all, because, you know, we have people that, as you say, love the different eras that occurred. And fortunately for us, as of now, we're all still here.
Yes.
And we could make it happen. But it's a lot of work that would have to happen behind the scenes, you know? But it
Fair
definitely
enough.
could happen.
One thing that I'm seeing you doing again recently, which kind of feels like it is coming back, is music videos. You put out a few of them this year. Probably the most popular one is the Lion King video. So
yeah, Lion King.
What I really like about that video, I like how it was shot. You just kind of riding a bike, coming down the street. You know, tell me about that video and the song as well too.
The video itself was shot by Philip. Big up Philip. The song itself, Lion King. Once again, the next song that wrote itself. Ain't no profit in gossip. People talking. People just keep making up scenarios that they like creating in their head, or, you know, just making up scenarios. So it's basically a song about people who lie a lot. You know, the video itself, we wanted to keep it simple, you know, and at the same time display what we have to offer. If you realize it's in the middle of town, and, you know, it's a beautiful shot, but keep it simple and keep you focused on the lyrics in that particular song. And Philip executed, and, you know, it came out very nice. So, and as you asked with the videos and stuff, like visuals, as you know, visuals is a very important thing right now. When you could put a face to a name, you know, you might hear Bunchie all the time, but you don't know who's Bunchie. And I mean, Bunchie is basically alive, but a ghost at the same time.
Yeah.
So you could be the best podcast in the world. You know, you ask the best questions, you have the best guests. People don't know who it is. You just a ghost. You just a ghost.
Yeah, I get that for sure, which is why I wanted to do this podcast with the video element to it same way. So definitely we in sync on that. One thing I kind of miss about the VI music culture is I miss albums. I feel like every festival, you know, like bands used to put out albums, not just singles. You ever see that coming back?
It is possible, especially, it is possible. But the problem that we had, I wouldn't say it's a problem, but we went with the jam band format because, you know, jam band was a band. Jam band was a band. So we were producing say an album every year.
Mm-hmm.
And out of the album every year, you were probably getting to promote two songs, because the next year is the next album. So you keep going. So I would love for it to come back, to be honest, because it actually keeps you on top of your game, keeps your skill, shows your skill to create so much music. But in reality, sometimes it's an overload. Let's say any other artist from any other place. Let's call somebody that put out an album recently. Let's say Cardi B,
Mm-hmm.
right? I didn't hear the album or anything, but I don't think she didn't put out any music for the last 7 years. Or for the last, not 7, 6, the last few years, 4
Yeah.
years, the
Yeah.
last 4 years, I'm just saying, I know she put out the album, but I guess she's gonna promote for the next 2 years, you understand?
Mm-hmm.
So it all depends on the market, because we have a very small market in the Virgin Islands, as you know. So basically, let's just say if we have before in the lines of music and albums, if you have a set, you have a set play and a set to play, and you really can't play the same set all the time because it's a small community. People will
Yeah.
literally learn it.
Yeah.
And so you have to keep reinventing and keep, keep going. So, it depends. With the album, sometimes singles, you could do 1 million songs and get one hit song. And that one hit song would take you wherever you need to go, or take you through a whole year of performing.
True.
So
Yeah.
I guess the artists right now, going with that format and being how we have all the digital platforms now, is basically music coming out every day.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like you gotta get a hit. To me, you gotta get a hit and then make the album, because then you're gonna make people want to listen to it.
Yeah.
Albums is definitely a real good thing. Is not an easy task at all to produce albums, but I would definitely recommend. I wouldn't have a problem doing albums at all, once the time is permitted, and it would have to be in what I call the old school format, where we actually sit down and make the music. Right now is everything, everybody's sending files, sending this, sending that. So sometimes you need the actual inspiration with the interaction, inspiration with the person right there to actually make the music.
Yeah. I get that. That makes a lot of sense.
Albums could definitely come back, but I wouldn't say every year, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, every year would probably be a stretch.
Yeah.
That'll probably kill it. But I would love for the albums to come back. I miss the albums. I mean, to this day, that first album you guys dropped with as Vibe, that's still on rotation in my playlist on a regular. And I just kind of miss that format. I used to look forward to the albums every year.
Definitely was a good thing.
All right. So as we begin to wrap up, I want to touch on one thing. No matter how loved you are, of course, in life, there's going to be people who also going to try to tear you down. It goes hand in hand. And a few years ago, there was a little bit of a controversy over the naming of the Virgin Gorda Festival when you were given the honor. What do you think happened with that whole situation? Why do you think people had a problem with it?
Basically, people being misinformed and don't know the history, and my family roots and where I'm originally from, and who Jougo really is. I think it was, they just didn't know. They just weren't educated on where I came from and how I came about. I'm from Virgin Islands. I was born in Virgin Islands. My passport said I was in Virgin Islands. Born in Virgin Islands, sorry. That's what my passport says. And they just didn't know. But I'm not one to explain myself, to be honest. I am not going to try to explain myself, especially not to the internet. At the end of the day, it is what it is. But all in all, the festival was successful. It was really good. And what happened with that situation there, just like anything else, people place their focus where it seems to be entertaining, where it might be negative. Me personally, if we got 100 negative people in a room and I find 2 people with good energy, I'll focus right there. But unfortunately, everybody ain't like that. So that's what happened with that. That was just people's, people that has a opinion, and they share their opinion, and I'm fine with that. Totally fine with that. It is not gonna define who I am in no way. As I said, the whole festival itself was great. Who disliked it, dislike it. But as you say, everything comes with something. You can't get A without B. You can't want to be here and don't go through this, or don't be a part of this. It comes hand in hand, but it all depends on where you place your focus.
Yeah, understood. All right, man. So as we wrap up, tell the people what's next for Jougo, what you're working on, where they could find you, social media, all that stuff.
What's next for me? We're gonna be on other shows. I'm gonna be on other shows. I don't know when the podcast is gonna come out, so I ain't gonna say exactly when to make it too timely. But I'll just look out on the social media page for performances and new music coming from myself, Jougo, on Facebook, Jougo Homegrown, on Instagram, Jougo Homegrown, and TikTok, Jougo on YouTube. Jougo is spelled Jougo. Research, look for the music, support the music, keep sending the positive messages, and the words of encouragement. I really appreciate it. Keep telling me what you like, and sometimes what you dislike. Sometimes I might not respond, but I probably just see it. And I appreciate it either way. So just follow me, Jougo, on every platform. Okay? Pick up the whole squad, pick up the Vibe team, pick up the Homegrown team, pick up the whole Virgin Islands. Man, anybody I forget, you don't know where to go. A lot going on. How I love you bad. Bunchie, what you say, man? Pick up on the podcast. Much continued success on your journey. And you don't know how I love you. I love you bad. I tell you.
Thank you, man. That's great. Thank you for being a guest on the podcast. And man, I wish you all the success in the world. I can't wait to see what's happening next. I look forward to the new music all the time, man. And blessings to you, blessings to the family, blessings to the band. Appreciate you so much.
All right, love alone.